no school that taught me how to worry when ndibona inqinqi. There's no school that taught me that when people organize against me to my detriment, that I must organize my environment against the status quo. That should be something that is already in us as human beings. And hopefully we would have actually had this from home. Lastly, there are birds called the Chichidodos. And I just learned from my wife that they are extinct. So you can hear where the source of knowledge is. Chichidodos hate excrement. They don't want to see excrement, manure. But Chichidodos love the maggots that come out of manure. Crisis. We have political Chichidodos who love the outcomes and the produce of corruption. As leaders, we need to be aware of that. That there are certain things that we will love so dearly, but those would come from a festered environment, and we need to make a decision. There are a couple of times where I would have led something successfully and given myself, I'm using myself, because when you start using too much of other people's principles, it's plagiarism. And the story of Chichidodos, I learned it from a book by a Guyana professor Ndebele, referencing a story in Ghana. So I use myself because I have these stories, and it might also be regarded as being very much self-centered, but I want to pass the point in a way that doesn't incriminate me. Don't want to incriminate myself. So we must be aware, because there are situations of crisis that at a particular time would actually benefit us. And as leaders, we can't be found feasting from such maggots. It's a burden of leadership that when you start putting yourself for leadership and you can be successful and deliver the project, hey, and money comes, but it's a conflict of interest if you didn't clarify that you have intentions to benefit from the onset, but you benefit from the onset. Bubunzima, balendo yokukhokhela. There are projects at Black Hat that when we do, I sometimes don't confess it to my wife, but I know that we're not going to make money. But it's worth our time to do them. And the people I work with make the money, and I go home with nothing. Because it's worth having to have done that project and being part of our deliverables and knowing that you're not going to make so much money, instead of exploiting everyone to your benefit. Money. It was fine when it was 500 rand. It's fine when it's 5,000 rand. You feel like, now you're talking again. Big numbers now. See, you manage big numbers there. And a lot of us, I know we have businesses, the Kiran and all of you. I'm asking and perhaps advancing that can we be the ones that stay the course of time? Can we be the ones that try our best? And I assure you, you're not going to benefit much from now, and even the people that you are doing good for sometimes might not understand. There was a project that I was busy with that my proposals would actually bring so much money, would bring money. But as soon as I start to show my need, committee members like, I started this project, I raised the money, but it's in a group, and one realizes that there's a time when I could do this and be a despot. It's mine, but I could be a despot. Where do we get our ethics from as leaders? Family. When I was growing up, I would pick money in the streets, show at home, get beaten. We shut up. We sell. We are hungry. There was a time at home that we didn't have food. Take it back. There was a time I would show up from primary school with a pen. They didn't buy it at home. It was not from the pens, stationery that we got from the university, from the school. In January, you get trapped, take it back. This was before church. It's engraved in us that iminomide. We can't afford to have despots as leaders. The burden of your burden for and to leadership is that you will consistently and constantly sacrifice yourself. You put yourself in harm's way consistently, because your reward comes and it shows up in the day, not at night. There are people whose wealth could not be showed or displayed during the day. It shows up at Cubana. That's the only time some wealth can show up, because the light of day shows too much of that wealth. When we desire the light of day for safety, people run away for the light of day. Despots. And they are leading. And we desire what they have. We want it. I want to bless my wife too. I want to build that house too. I actually want that car that they are driving. They food. They bawel. But when the light comes, some people will not be able to stand in any platform. Even the families benefit from these gains and this plunder, blindfolded. They can't ask any question. They would not ask any question because they know who this person is. A culture of leadership, of caring, of respecting process, hard work, and the actual indima, irresponsibility to kanduva, lokokela, will require you to wait a bit longer. And you might not get it. But during the light of day, you can still stand and say, this is how I've acquired our gains, and we can show you how we did it. Do not ask that person. You know that person. All of us have those people. Do not ask them, how did you do it? No, man. You know, I pull me. Yeah, I'm up. Because the light of day is a threat to some of the wealth that we have seen in our lives. The image of success. As a leader, we can't desire the image of success more than we can commit to the process of acquiring success. And it's one brick at a time. Ukalamans and pour water day in and day out. You organize ourselves to a day when we'll be able to stand in a light of day and proclaim and say, this is how we've achieved it. I have scars to prove it. They are here. I've lost a couple of friends. I've lost a couple of family members. I've had to celebrate everyone's success, everyone around me, thinking that my life is a failure. I've had to be there to every graduation, every housewarming, every kid being born, all the celebration that you can think of, in attending to the people around you, because your burden is much bigger, and it's the one that shows up in the light of day. And I'm not saying that everybody that acquires that is actually someone that hides their possession. No. But I'm saying that as you, inward-looking person, knowing that the world around you is transforming, and you are not there to actually participate because your process, it takes isaza from Emaxaki, or isaza from Enjoli, or Ekrisani, your taxi is still there, and other people have arrived in their destination. That is what I would like to advance, and that is what I would like to commit to. We will make mistakes. We will make mistakes. You're not going to be able to deal with money all the time the right way. You're not going to be able to deal with people all the time the right way. Your staff, the people that work for you or with you, your colleagues, we make mistakes, but our commitment is far much, it's important and far much greater than the destination, because our lives themselves, our lives, the process of acquiring and getting to the destination is the actual life. The fact that you have to deal with debt, the fact that you have to deal with repossession, the fact that you have to, let me tell this one. And my wife laughs. I want to tell this one because I just lobolad. I'm excited. And I feel like I can't be actually going and riding in a taxi anymore now. The monies that went to that house, it actually shows. Go and get a car. I'm excited. I can afford this thing and all of that. But I didn't pay attention to the season, the changing season in my life, that I had made an acquisition that requires me to sit now and not do anything. Now we get married. Now we have 2 cars. We need to actually move from one. We need to move into one city and all of that, and things are actually not happening. But we've learned from the process. We are now realizing that it is better to endure our own process. This is not a marriage counseling session, so I'm not going to get in there. But it is better to endure our own burden and to actually pay attention to our own development as a family and as people that will now provide leadership to our children. and our children's children. But we've actually learned a lot.